Hey guys, one of the areas in life that's really, really difficult to understand is this whole concept of love. We read books about unconditional love. We read stories about people talking about unconditional love. We read stories about people talking about soulmates. We read all this stuff about love, but it can be really super confusing. I mean, super confusing. A number of years ago, I was working with a young woman who came in, and because of my work with her, I actually created a love scale 1 to 10 that we trademarked back then 20 years ago. And I want to explain it right now because it really gives us a good opportunity to try to figure out why we are attracted to certain people, why relationships can end in so much drama and chaos. And it really is a basic understanding, or let me say a misunderstanding of this whole thing of love. So let me tell you the story first, and then I'll tell you how I helped her by creating this love scale. This young woman comes in and she says to me, I love this man more than anyone else I've ever loved in my life. This man is the man. And I said, awesome, then why are we here? Why are you hiring a counselor to work with you if this is perfect? She said, because he's always angry at me. He's always upset with me, and I don't understand it. And I keep telling him, I've loved him more than any other man I've loved. And she has had multiple marriages, multiple relationships. It wasn't like she was brand new. As we continued to work together, what I asked her to do was to come in with a list of the reasons and why, the experiences she had, that her boyfriend would get so upset with her. He broke off the engagement. He told her that she was on her last leg and she couldn't understand it. So as we were talking and she started bringing in these examples, I started to see this pattern. And in my work as a counselor, all I ever look for is patterns when it comes to relationships, addictions, whatever it might be. So here was the pattern. She would do incredible things for him 3 days in a row. So let's just make it easy. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, oh my God, she was on top of the world. Then all of a sudden, everything fell apart. On Thursday, she would tell him she would do certain things and she wouldn't do it. On Friday, the same thing. Saturday, Sunday. She had 4 days in a row. He would say to her, don't put the rugs in the washing machine. The washing machine's old. She would say, okay. He would come home from work on a Friday and every rug in the freaking house, I laugh as I say this, was in the washing machine, right? And so she said, he got so upset with me. And I said, no, wait a minute. If we back this up, he asked you not to do that. She said, yeah. And you did it anyway. And she said, yeah. And I said, why would you do it anyway when you agreed that you wouldn't? And she said, because I knew the washing machine could handle it. I said, that's not the point, And then we went on and on and on. And what was happening is she kept breaking her words. She had this really intense fear of being honest. She had a fear of following her own words. It's called a lack of integrity. When we backed it up and we look at, as we do in counseling, where did this all start? She was mimicking her mom in the relationship. Her mom was incredibly headstrong. She was adamant that men were no good, that men were a waste of time. And she taught her little girl from when she was young that you have to take control of life and you don't follow a man's word. Men are worthless. And this is God's honest truth. 40 years later, this woman who says she loves this guy more than anything else in the world is constantly pushing back, constantly breaking her words. In other words, lying. Like when you tell someone, okay, I won't do that, and you do it, you're lying to them. Well, we had this incredible 6 months of work together, and one day I came up with, and again, remember, this is 20 years ago. I said, I just created something last night that I think is going to help you understand. You believe that you love him more than anyone else, anyone you've ever been with, and it's true for you. But there's something called the love scale I created, and I'm going to share it with you right now. The love scale goes from 1 to 10. 1 is incredibly addicted, unhealthy love. That's where addictions take place. Addictions to alcohol, drugs, addictions to emotional abuse, physical abuse. That's all a 1, right? But listen to this. I've worked with women from women's shelters for 20 plus years now. And when you ask a woman, why does she return to someone that beats her physically? She'll say, because I love him. See, it is love. It's highly dysfunctional, but it's love. When you go up the love scale, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's all highly dysfunctional love. It's love, though. Like, here's the biggest thing in the world that I want everyone watching this and listening is share this damn video because we need to get the word out. Yes, they love this person. Yes, they're in love with this person, but it's an unhealthy form of love. It still is love. It's the best they can do. It's the best they know. Evaluate yourself right now in your relationships. Like if you have passive aggressive behavior, that's love at a 4. You're not at a 5 yet. So if you do things behind your partner's back, you agree with them so that you don't rock the boat, but then you don't do what they ask you to do, that's called passive aggressive behavior. Is it love? Hell yes, it's love. Is it unhealthy love? Hell yes, it's unhealthy love. When you get to 5, the scale of 1 to 5, 5 is where healthy love begins. And here's something that you all know what I'm going to say, even before I say it. Healthy love begins with respect and friendship. Okay, so if you're looking for romantic love, you've got to get to the 5, and the 5 is love and respect, which means that you follow your words. There's no passive-aggressive behavior. There's no addiction to alcohol, food, nicotine, drugs. There's no addiction to TV. There's no addiction to anything. Like at a 5, I respect myself so much. I've cleaned my life up so much that now I'm ready to love someone else. And the other person is in the same position, but that's just friendship love, you know, and it's a great place. And of course, every good love relationship has to have friendship. That number 5 is friendship, and it's respect. You respect your partner. You might get into disagreements, but there's not name calling. There's not throwing freaking plates across the room. You know, like that's a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. But a 5, you can agree to disagree. Like this is the start of healthy love, man. This is the beginning of it. When you go to 6, that's romantic, healthy love, right? And that's when you're holding hands and kissing and making love, and that's at a 6. So you respect them, you love them, they're a friend of yours, you don't talk behind their back. That's a 4, 3, 2. You don't do any of that kind of crap, right? Above 5, there's no emotional affairs. You're not gossiping to your girlfriends or your guy friends about how your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, or your wife is a dickhead. Like there's none of that from 5 up. You just don't do it. You go to a freaking counselor like me, you go to a life coach, you go to someone that knows what the hell they're doing in relationships, and you vent to them. You don't call your mom, dad, kids, your best friend and say, you're not going to believe what John did last night. Mary was such a jerk. You write about it, you process it, but you really bring it to professionals. That's at 6. Do you see where I'm going here? Then it gets more intimate and more loving and more compassionate and more kind. Now, here's the deal breaker for a lot of people. 10 is almost impossible to achieve, and that's unconditional love between a man and a woman, or 2 men or 2 women. It's almost impossible to achieve. It's a great goal. People write about it all the time, but they don't know what the hell they're writing about, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. How do I know that? Because I used to be one of them. I used to be one of those experts in love that talked all about unconditional love, and it's a bunch of crap. It's so freaking rare. Is it possible? Maybe. I don't see it very often. Maybe I've seen it once or twice in my entire 28 years as a counselor in relationships. Now, I have seen unconditional love between parent and child. I've seen unconditional love, probably those common, and don't laugh now, the most common form of unconditional love is between a dog owner and their dog. Interesting, isn't it? Like that dog is bringing unconditional love, and if you return the unconditional love, then that's probably one of the deepest forms of love relationships, unconditional, you'll ever see in this world. Parent-child can be very, very similar, right? But, and here's a big but, what a lot of people call unconditional love is simply codependency. And let me explain. If you're dating someone who's an addict, an alcoholic, a food addict, a nicotine addict, a TV addict, et cetera, and you enable them, and you say, I love them so much, I'm going to take my hands off the wheel, and they are negatively affecting your life, and they're destroying the love between you two, that's not unconditional love. That's called codependency. If you really want to love someone unconditionally and you nurture and love them and help them up to a point and they have an addiction, then you let them go. And you say, I love myself so much and I love you so much, I can't keep going down this rat race, this rat hole. I can't keep going down these rabbit holes and you promising and breaking your word and promising. So I'm going to let you go. And when you heal and you want to come back, if I'm available, I would love to take you back. See, that's unconditional love. You love yourself so much. It's not that you give up on the very first try, but after 3 strikes, and I mean that sincerely, if you're still saving people, enabling people, then that's not unconditional love. That's codependency. So when I explained this whole love scale to this woman, she got it. Now, she didn't change. She didn't change her behaviors, and the relationship disintegrated, and the guy left her, and for good reason he did. But she started to understand it. Now, that was a long time ago. I don't know where she is now. I don't know how she's doing. But I wanted to share this today because it's so crucial that we understand there's all kinds of love. And you can love someone with all of your heart. But if it was modeled, unhealthy love was modeled to you in childhood, the odds are you're modeling unhealthy love today. If mom or dad was an addict or an alcoholic, If mom or dad was a codependent, if mom and dad was an enabler, then from 0 to 18 is where we pick up, almost all of us, pick up our ideas of love. It's stuck in the subconscious mind. We just repeat, remodel, right? We until we get help, we can't shatter those belief systems in the subconscious mind without really serious work. But once you do understand, and maybe one of the most important things in this little video that I'm doing is that, look in the mirror about how honest you are. If you don't understand passive aggressive behavior, Google it. I gave you some examples here, but really get to understand it and look in the mirror and say, wow, I can't believe I'm passive aggressive. I can't believe I'm codependent. I can't believe I'm an enabler. If any of those things are true for you, you're at a 4 or a 3 or a 2. And once you accept where you are on the love scale, baby, you can radically change it. Get help. Email me at my website, talkdavid.com or davidessel.com. We've got a whole course on love and relationships and another whole course on codependency. We've helped so many people understand the love scale to get to 5 in their current relationship or to get to 5 in a new relationship. And then from there, it can be really beautiful. Okay, so email me if you need me at the website. Share this video. God, we are so misled. There's so many crap books out there about soulmates and unconditional love, and it's a bunch of crap. Most of it is. It's fairy tale. It's love novels. It's all that kind of stuff. It's not real. We want to actually share with you real, valid information so you can change. And before you leave this planet, maybe for the first time ever, be the leader, understand love, and then experience it, okay? I love you all very much. Thanks so very much for being with us, and have a beautiful day.